Hey y'all, I'm outside in the dark recording because something was like sizzling, buzzing, rattling in the garage, and I wasn't trying to figure out what it was. Okay, you're not gonna pop up on me. So I'm outside on the patio again, and you know how I was telling y'all the other day that um my allergic reactions like happen because of power leaks and whatnot. I guess emotional power leaks. Tell me why I had an allergic reaction yesterday because I had drank a refresher. All the restaurants have them now. And I finally wanted to try one. I thought I found a place that had a refresher that didn't have citrus in it. I was sadly mistaken. Now, I only took one sip. I took one full sip, like on the first sip. And then the second sip, I was like, this don't taste right. And I put it down. And my allergic reaction was coming on slowly, like over a course of 2 hours, but I ended up taking the Benadryl. I was out and about, so I ended up taking the Benadryl, just one, and that kind of like made it subside a little bit. But my allergies are so bad that now I'm having a post reaction. I be having post reactions now. So my post reaction is just, I was having a sneezing fit like before I got on here. My throat was still scratchy as if the allergy is new, or as if it just happened again today. And I don't have the chest tightness though, because I'm anaphylactic. With citrus. But yeah, just want to tell y'all that. Um, Having said that though, I'm holding the phone on my little table stand. I didn't want to go back in the house and find my tripod. I probably should have, but we here now. Either way, what I want to talk about today is how grief can change your lifestyle because grief isn't only just sad, it reinvents you. So, for a lot of people, and again, it may just happen to you or happen to me rather, but grief can quietly reshape your lifestyle, your mindset, your habits, and your routines. And that is an opportunity to reinvent yourself because the old you no longer exists. There's no such thing as getting back to normal because you have a new normal, right? So it's easy to talk about emotions with grief, but lifestyle is something that I don't hear about a lot. So you start questioning like how you spend your time, your energy, your money, and stuff that matters to you. Like the stuff that used to matter to you often doesn't really matter anymore. For example, there are some people who want to climb the corporate ladder. They want to um, have like material possessions. They want to accomplish certain goals. And once they lose someone close to them, it's kind of like you, it something clicks in you like this mess don't really matter. Like this stuff is still going to be here when I leave here. So maybe I shouldn't focus on this right now. Like maybe it's just not that important, or it's only important because I make it important, right? So that happens, I think, because grief removes the illusion of having time. I could do it later. I'm doing this, I'm waiting until this event or this condition is met. And you find yourself just like moving the goalpost, not accomplishing the goal, missing the deadlines because it's really not a priority. So when you lose someone, it kind of forces this clarity in your life that changes your behavior. So, having said that, my first lifestyle shift is traveling more. Now, I've been traveling because I have had the privilege of having older relatives who've been retired my whole life. And we used to drive all across everywhere in the Midwest, the South. Um, so that's kind of like what sparked my interest in traveling. And I kind of just occasionally went on trips, either family reunion or if my sister invited me to do something with her friends. But I wasn't really doing it for myself. I was doing it like, oh, okay, this is an opportunity to go. I'll do it. So now it's kind of like I have been leaving the country every year since, because I think even the pandemic kind of made me realize, like, oh, I don't even have the option to go anywhere. So let me just be intentional about going places. So, like, you stop trying to wait for the right time and you try to make things happen because you realize that the time isn't guaranteed. So, even if you don't travel, if you're not a person that travels, you may say yes more to different experiences. I know that's something that I do. I say yes more to a lot of things that I was never really interested in. And here's the crazy part. You could say you never gonna do something, but never is gonna never like it never before and change your mind. So you kind of just stop delaying your life a little bit. Like how I was saying when my parents died, I tried to like do do bucket list things I'm still working on that little list. I don't have a formal list, but like I'm doing things that I had never done before. Like I started taking Spanish lessons when I traveled out of the country that summer for 2023. I had never taken Spanish lessons. I took 4 years of French in high school. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me try to learn Spanish because this is a very predominant language in the world. So, it doesn't hurt to know. So, yeah, like you just stop delaying your life. You say yes to things, you try new things because you realize that you only live once, right? So, after grief, you just understand that life is not promised, time is not promised, and it will not wait. So, the next thing is, for me, I no longer overconsume. And this is a multi-layered thing. One, I no longer overconsume because when my mom passed away, it took 10 of us to pack up her house. She lived in a two-bedroom home, and it took 10 of us because she was a hoarder. She held on to so much stuff. She held on to clothing that she had not worn since I was a baby. She had things from her grandmother, from our grandmother, her mom, and things that had just, preschool paintings and your graduation certificates and things you get throughout school. She had so much stuff, so it took 10 of us to clean it all up. And when I made it back home that summer, I was like, you know what, I cannot do that to other people, right? Not to say that it was a burden. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it was a burden, but I don't think my mother did that intentionally. Obviously, nobody does that intentionally. But it's like before grief, it was easy to hold on to things and wait for like the right time or wait for a moment or a condition to be met. Whereas now, I don't give a damn. In fact, before my mother passed, I had lost a lot of weight. I was a 2X and I went down to a 1X. So I had got rid of my wardrobe, switched my wardrobe over completely, only for the pandemic to happen. So I couldn't even wear any of the stuff because I wasn't going anywhere. Then, uh, 2 years after the pandemic, my mental health was not the best because of the job I was working. And I was having like nightmares and anxiety and just eating bad, gained all that weight back, and even had got to a point where I was a 3X. I was 275 pounds. I had never been that big before. But I didn't realize I got that big because I didn't have to go anywhere. The only event I went to was my mother's funeral. Like I got together with family, but I wasn't going anywhere to know that nothing was fitting me. So like I was like, okay, I cannot buy a closet full of 3X stuff when I still got 1X in the closet. And it took me a long time to get rid of the 1X stuff. I'm still finding things. I'm like, gotta go. I haven't worn it yet. Gotta give it away. Because now I feel like my perfect size is a 2X or 18, 20. Because like I want to have muscle on me. I don't like how I look when I'm smaller. So yeah, like ever since we had packed up my mom's house, when I shop, I literally pull things from my closet to donate. It's like almost like an exchange, but I don't keep accumulating. I give things away. And even if I'm not buying stuff, I will still donate every quarter. So that's for me. And I wanted to mention this. Let me see. Ah, child, I done missed the whole little section. Okay, I'm gonna talk about it. But yeah, like for me, material things can start to feel meaningless, Jesus, or heavy, especially if it's clutter and it's taking up your space. So yeah, you may be a person who's impulse shopping now or as a result of the grief. You may be a person who saved a lot of things now or beforehand or because of the grief. And I will urge you to not do that. Okay? Because I think for me, grief made me realize that we be having a lot of stuff that we don't really need. Like if I was to piece up out of here today, how easy would it be for somebody to like pack up my room, or would they want to keep it the same? But like, how easy would that be? If I needed to skip town, not that I'm doing anything worthy of skipping town. I don't be doing that with nobody, but if I needed to just up and go, can I do that? And it's hard to do that when you have so much stuff. I have a friend, y'all. She, when I say she lives so light, I really think this girl's a criminal. Like if the FBI ever came looking for her, she wouldn't have a problem leaving because like she is so minimalist, and I wish that I was like that. She is so minimalist, like it's ridiculous. Um, but what else? Trying to see what I put on my phone. Oh, I wanted to mention like a little thing about financial trauma. Be mindful of your coping mechanisms too, because you can start leaking or spending money where you don't need it to make yourself feel better because you're grieving. So for some people, that's drinking alcohol. Other people, that's smoking. It could be sex. It could be travel, or just escapism overall. It could be so many things. So like you want to be mindful of that too, because you can begin to accumulate things like, do you have too many liquor bottles in the house? Do you have too many ticket stubs to a certain activity or event? Do you have certain remnants? Like if you're smoking, do you have, I think they call them buds. I don't know, buds, roaches, or like those little vapor cartridge cartridge things. Like you can start accumulating things like that as a result of trying to cope with your emotions because you're trying to make yourself feel better or escape the feelings or numb the feelings, etc. So that is all to do with consumption, right? The next thing, health, diet, and body awareness. Now, for me in particular, I've always been a like a fitness person, so to speak. I don't want to call myself athletic, but I have had an active lifestyle for most of my life. So I've played sports since I was 12 years old. Really, I played basketball, volleyball, track, cross country, but the constant was volleyball. That's what I went to college on scholarship for. I played volleyball in college, and then I play a little bit here occasionally, like within adult leagues and whatever. But yeah, like grief kind of forces you to get clear on things that matter because it breaks that illusion of time. And with that, child, child, where we at, girl? Okay, boom. So grief breaks the illusion of time. Yep. And you realize that I have to be intentional about what I eat, how I take care of myself. So before grief, I used to miss bodily pains and things that were going on with my body. It was easy to just ignore it and keep going. But now I can't ignore it. I'm very mindful because you become hyper vigilant to what's going on with you and other people because you lose somebody like that and you miss the signs, or maybe they didn't go get help in time or seen in time, or it wasn't enough time to treat them for whatever they had. So um I'm extremely empathetic, at least with the women, to the point where I feel when people are pregnant. I really do think that God is punishing me. We're gonna investigate that. But I do think I'm being punished for not having a kid when I was told to have one. But I'm grateful I did not have one. And if that is why I'm having these issues and feeling when people are pregnant and getting sick and breaking out, and child, I had hot flashes the time before last because one of my coworkers was pregnant, but she didn't tell anybody but another coworker. And I figured out it was hot flashes because the rest of the women on our team, it's just three of us, no, four of us, who are like in our 30s. All the other people are older and have gone through menopause, and they were like, "No, girl, you're having a hot flash. Worst, worst thing ever. I never want to experience that again in my life." Um, but yeah, like I'm very empathetic to women. I can feel things like when I'm in a relationship and something may not be right with the person, or before I get in a relationship, like if I'm dating them or something. But I know with my dad, I had a feeling that something wasn't right with him, and he wasn't telling me. And obviously, it turned out to be correct. He wasn't telling me the truth. But you become more aware of stress, energy, and what you consume. If it's about eating or like media or TV and music and stuff like that. So like, I remember my mom first died really at her repast. My dad was like, "Well, I'm getting tired. I don't feel well. I'm gonna lay down." And this is not outside the norm for him because he was a in bed by 9 p.m. person, right? But I told him like, "Okay, are you sure you're feeling fine? Like, you all I got, you know." And in hindsight, I feel like that may have put pressure on him to keep a what's the word? Keep a brave face. Um, but like I said, I'm still empathetic, so I was sensing that something was off of him, regardless. But like, you do become hyper vigilant, especially when you lose people to health issues, because like you don't want to ever miss the signs again. You don't ever want somebody to go so long without getting help or being seen. And child, I found out so many health things about my dad that he had just never told me. It really did piss me off. I was upset at him for a very long time, but I get it. I get it. Like I wouldn't be able to tell my only child that I'm gonna be dying soon or that I'm sick or what. I get it. And just seeing how we were with my mom, it makes sense. I don't like that he did it, but it makes total sense. And like even that, like with his health complications, I do feel like a lot of that stuff was expedited because of his diet. Because my daddy did not cook at all. I don't cook. I eat out. He's the reason we went out to eat. Okay, every time, even if it was just a drive through, I did not leave my house with my daddy without being fed, without eating somewhere. So now when I leave the house, I be insulted if you don't take me somewhere to eat. Cause what the hell are we doing? This cat keep crying. Um, but yeah, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, why are you taking me out my residence and you not feeding me? That still low key pisses me off. Don't do that. Either way, um, yeah, like watching how my dad ate all those years, I'm like, oh wow, Chelsea. Even when my mom was sick, the thing about Southern Illinois is that there's not a lot of stuff there. Okay, the St. Louis area in general is very mom and pop. But also, when you get outside of the central city area, it don't be a lot of stuff to eat. So every day that I would go to the hospital, I was eating McDonald's. And by the end of it all, that's how I gained all that weight, number one. But my cholesterol was so high that I gave up McDonald's for years. I really only eat McDonald's like if I have to. I don't really care to go there. But that's all I could eat because by the time I would leave the hospital, the cafeteria is closed. Or when she was in a nursing home, like their stuff wasn't good. Um, and the only thing that was open was Domino's, Cracker Barrel, and McDonald's. So I just ate McDonald's. Taco Bell too, and I do not eat Taco Bell. But I'm not like a big on fast food eating, but I do or did dine out a lot. Um, old habits die hard though. Um, but yeah, you might be a person who like eats cleaner. I've kind of always eaten clean. I can't say that I'm extremely clean, right? I would say like 70%. But I've always eaten like that because I have multiple comorbidities anyway. So I can't just be eating everything. Like I try to have a low inflammatory diet most of all. But now with fitness things, I try to eat more protein and eat more greens. Not that fake protein crap that's chalky and disgusting. No, I'm talking about things that have always had protein in them. My current fixation is edamame, 17 grams of protein in a bag. Um, but yeah, like you just have these shifts and like your eating habits, your exercise habits, all of that because you're trying to increase your longevity. You might go to the doctor more. I've I've met people who go to the doctor like once a year, and I'm like, I could never. That's never been my life, just in general. But it's also easy to stop going to the doctor and stop caring for yourself because you are grieving. So you want to be mindful of that. But I say all that to say this: when your life feels fragile and you feel like you can be easily broken, you tend to take care of yourself a bit more. You tend to pay attention to what you need, how you feel, what you're thinking. And if you're not feeling that right now, it's okay. It will come. Do not try to force yourself to do anything you don't want to do or you're not in a space to do because you're still grieving and it's still hard. But when you get to your new normal, those are some things you might want to look at because grief will strip away your habits, your identities, things that you thought that mattered, even like things you use to distract yourself. So, yeah, that all of those things are like creating space for you to have new routines, new values, and new priorities. So for me, the grief didn't just like break me or anything. It also rebuilt me. It broke me down to build me up. Now I used to hate hearing that so much because it was always some man-made, manufactured BS that people were inflicting upon you. But no, life will humble you. So I'm not at all trying to like romanticize grief or anything like that. But I am saying that it's the perfect opportunity to live your life in a new way because you are not the person that you were before all of this happened. You feel me? So, excuse me. There's opportunity in it if you are willing to reevaluate and reconsider some things. But also, it's okay if you're holding on to habits and mindsets and behaviors that you had before because you want to have a sense of familiarity, or you want to maintain a sense of normal of what was happening before that person passed. But just some things you can consider, and like I want to know what things have you all changed or done. Like, how has grief changed life for you? What are new things you picked up, things you stopped doing? Tell me about that because with the coping mechanisms, it's easy to pick up new addictions, new habits, especially if they're socially acceptable coping mechanisms like caffeine, shopping, traveling, even. But yeah, tell me about that. And then what no longer fits in your life? You know, like for me, that performance stuff, putting on airs. I wouldn't say. Well, yeah, I would say keeping up with the Joneses. I made a point where I'm like, none of this matters. None of this can go with me when I die. Nobody's gonna care about what I had or what I'm doing. They're gonna care about how I make them feel. So yeah, that's how it's been for me. How has it been for you all?